You are checking after the yes with Sarah Jane.
Hello. I was chanting this. I don't know where I heard it, but it goes, everything's working out for me. Everything's working out for me. Everything's working out for me, working out for me, working out for me. It's been stuck in my head. And so I feel like right before I get on, it's a great thing to just like motivate me, right? And guys should do it too. So welcome to After the Yes. What episode are we on? We're on episode 5. Oh my goodness. Thank you again for tuning in. Thank you so much for all the support, all the encouraging words, all the suggestions. They mean the world. The suggestions, even the criticisms, like whatever I get that means you're listening, you're tuning in, and you care. And that means the world, honestly. And I'm taking them to heart because you're my co host. And I keep saying this is not going to be, and this is not about the sound of just my voice. So, welcome to After the Yes. How's the week treating you? Okay. So, today is all about who makes the cut, right? Who makes the cut? Except you don't have to try out, right? This is not like football or something. You don't have to try out for the team, but who makes the cut? And is this a loaded topic or what? I have definitely seen it cause much stress and strife, a little division from time to time. So, couples, we have to woosah about it. Okay? We definitely have to woosah about it because yes, it's there's layers. There's layers to it for sure. Now, let's start with what you guys' vision is before we figure out who makes the cut. What is your vision? Has your vision always been a roaring, huge celebration with 150, 200 people? Like, is that what you've always imagined? Like, um, all the chairs full when you're walking down the aisle, rows and rows back? Or has your ideal vision been something romantic, quaint, intimate with like 50 guests? What has your vision been? Let's start there. Y'all's vision together. You guys. Super important. The other thing is who makes the cut can also be part of a budget constraint, right? So, how much of who makes the cut has to do with what we're doing budget wise, where we are budget wise, because that definitely matters. Hey, it's not just each person per head signifies that per plate open bar combination that signifies cake, that signifies a place setting. Then each person adds, make 8 to 10, another table, another centerpiece, those kind of things. So each person, it's more than just that per person charge. So it is not just about that one person cost. Okay. Now, the other thing to take into account, who gets a say in who makes the cut? I've heard and seen it a lot. Someone mentioned this to me yesterday, as a matter of fact. When family is contributing to the budget, how much say do they have in the guest list and who makes the cut? So there's several guidelines in regards to who makes the cut. theoretically you'll see a lot about if you haven't spoken to them or seen them in over a year, they don't need to make the cut. Now, there's obviously an exception to every rule. Just because you haven't seen grandma, just because you haven't seen grandma in a year, that doesn't count, right? Auntie, there's those kind of guidelines. But I think in regards to like friends, second, third cousins, those kind of things, it's okay that they don't make the cut. And even with parents, like parents are helping you. And I know culturally it's also a little different. It's also a little different in regards to the expectations. Honestly, whether they contribute or not, how much say they have on who's invited. So this is a conversation that needs to be had in the very beginning, whether they're helping you or not, what your ideal vision is for the both of you for your wedding, and give them a number and try to agree with that number and let them know how important it is. So if a compromise would be 10, mom and dad, you can have 10. And you guys have to do it on both sides usually. Give both sides of parents 10. And then that way, if you guys wanted to get to 100, you're giving them like 20. And that probably seems quite gracious. So depending on what that sweet spot is for the both of you to discuss in the beginning, because it's not when you're making the guest list and you're thinking that you have the perfect guest list, do all of a sudden parents on either side say, here's my list, and it's like 30 deep. And sometimes it's not just about the cost. Sometimes you had in your vision, you're like, you want what you want, and that's fair. It's your wedding. And so when they send you a list or share a list with you that has like 30 or 40 guests that you have no idea who they are, they're willing to pay for it, but you wanted to recognize every face and you knew how it wanted to feel. And sometimes now you feel a little restricted about the things you wanted to do, or maybe the music you wanted to play, because now there's maybe a lot of more of like the older guests there. So you might feel a little bit more uncomfortable. There's a lot of different things that you may feel forced to consider if a lot of other guests that you're not familiar with and that you don't know are invited to your wedding. And don't feel uncomfortable to voice your opinion, because at the end of the day, it is your wedding. And I think parents and family members do want you to have an amazing wedding and amazing celebration. And I understand that the wedding is also for the family, and they're equally invested and excited about it for you. But I think those discussions can be done in a respectful, loving way, again, in the beginning. So it's not like you're thrown for the loop midway through the process and now everyone is stressing out, or it's causing like tension on either side of the family, both sides of the family. And that kind of things. I've had couples literally have to stick a pin in it, change venues because of families adding so much. And I've seen a lot also, definitely for sure, cultural things. There's aunties that cannot be disinvited and things like that, especially from like out of the country. And it is what it is, and you roll with the punches. And I think a lot of times when you're aware of how it is culturally with family, or you kind of grew up in that environment, you know a little bit more what to expect. So you're probably going to enter into those conversations a little earlier on, before you really even start diving into like the venue and all of those things, right? So it might not be as a surprise of what your family is going to expect in regards to the guest list. But that does not mean that your entire vision should go out the window because of family expectations or because family is assisting or contributing or even paying. I mean, let's keep it real, because even if your family's entirely paying does not mean that they own the wedding and that they should, whatever they say goes. That's not how it works, and that's not how it should be about. So, no, absolutely not. So, who makes the cut? Now that we've kind of like touched on how family semantics kind of works, and I've talked about some of the things that kind of control the list, right? So, outside of budget, let's just talk about your vision. And if you've always envisioned, I'm going to go for the bigger number first. If you've always envisioned a wedding with 200 people and a huge party, that probably means you know a lot of people or you have a big family. So, who makes the cut and how does that work? I can tell you the two biggest things that I see in working on that list and streamlining that list are two things: are kids and plus ones. Do kids make the cut? Honestly, they aren't making the cut like they used to. 5 years ago, pre-COVID, kids were on the list a lot, and to kind of accommodate for kids, especially if they had friends and family members coming from out of town and they have to travel with their kids, we would find suites, or within the venue, there was like a side room where after the children ate, there were games and things for them to do. We would hire outside childcare to come in and take care of them. So they were super close to their parents to check in on, but the parents could have some grown folk time and that kind of thing. That worked really, really well. And then I've slowly seen that trickle out to literally adult only reception, ceremony, and reception. I think I had 2 out of maybe 20 last year, 2 weddings that children were included. And so let guests know super early on the invitations, on the save the dates, planned out that this is going to be an adult only affair. And don't feel guilt about that. Remember, you're not having your celebration to accommodate other people. You're having the celebration that both best represents the both of you. So you can't feel guilty about that. And if they can't make it, they can't make it. But, you know, I hear so much couples adjusting their plans for what they think will best suit everyone else. And you don't want to do that. I always tell couples, when you're sitting on the couch and you're looking at that video 5, 10 years from now, is it exactly what you envisioned? So don't feel guilt about that. If hearing kids scream and it's not their fault of their own, it's not their fault, they're babies, they're kids, you will hear them screaming in the back of the ceremony and the parents try their best. Will you see 2 or 3, sliding across the dance floor, crawling or running around? It comes with the territory. And so if that is not something that you are prepared for or you didn't envision, okay, perhaps your vibe is adult only. All right, so that's the number one thing about making the cut. The other thing is, okay, plus ones. See this a lot. Now, is that your boo thing that you just met? Is it someone that lives with you, or I'm laughing. Hold on. Let me sip. If you're just tuning in, I always encourage my watchers, listeners. I bring champs, bring a cocktail, bring sparkling water, whatever it is, because this is an come one, come all, however you would like. And for me, champagne, as my friends and I call it, just makes the vibe all better. So the reason why I'm chuckling is because I hear a lot from couples where their friends ask if they can bring a guest because they don't want to come to the wedding alone. And when they're asking that, they don't have a significant other, they don't have a boyfriend, they don't have a girlfriend, somebody they're significantly dating. They are just asking their friend to partake, add on this additional cost because they don't want to come alone. And that's not very nice. You're a big girl, you're a big boy, you're coming to have a good time. They're going to put a lot of thought into wherever you're sitting for the wedding, for the reception, to make sure you have a great time. And you're going to find a group of dance partners. No need to worry about that. But that happens a lot. And that's not cool. So anyways, that's why I was chuckling a little bit. So for all of the scenarios that I mentioned, no, they don't get a +1. If you want to be super nice, and whether the budget is unlimited or you have just plenty of room to allow for other people, and you just want to give them a +1, then that's fabulous. And kudos to you guys. I've seen exceptions for +1s made usually for a bridal party. That's when I've seen exceptions for +1s made where they're not necessarily in a serious relationship, or they might be dating someone and they can bring a +1. But if it's not like we locked in, we've been together 2 years, just to bring someone to a great party, and it's such an expense, and an important, like, why would you just want to show up or have somebody show up for such an important, serious celebration and you don't really know anybody? So, or you barely know that person. So that's me personally. Then there's etiquette rules about that as well, and I'm aligned with that. I'm aligned with that too. So when you invite someone to that, this is how it works. It can say, Mr. John Smith. That means John's invited. John made the cut. If it says Mr. and Mrs. John Smith, John and his wife made the cut. If it says Mr. Taylor Thompson and guest, Taylor made the cut and he gets to bring a +1. I see with RSVP, sometimes I do RSVP management for clients, or I get emails going, oh my gosh, the RSVP was 6. 2 people were invited. They got an RSVP for 6, RSVP for 4. Who is addressed on the envelope is who made the cut, is who can RSVP. Okay? So if just one person's on the envelope, that's who made the cut. That's who can RSVP. If it says Mr. John Smith and family, that means everybody. All right? Round it up. Who's ever at that address in that household, they made the cut. But otherwise, if it's and guest, if it's Mr. and Mrs., or there could be 6 people and say there's kids in the household. So they said Mr. and Mrs. John Smith and Amanda Smith. And Amanda is a 20-year-old. It's the 3 of them. The other 3 need to stay home. That's how that works, okay? And you know what? I have struggled with this for 15 years. I've dealt with this personally, and I get to hear about it literally from every bride. RSVP, y'all. Just RSVP. Do you remember? I'm dating myself, so not all of you guys will get it. And probably maybe not most of you guys will get it, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's sticking in my head. Please be kind and rewind for those back in the Blockbuster days. They used to have that sign, please be kind and rewind. Please be kind and RSVP. Nowadays, we've made it easier than ever. It used to be, even though the little envelope was addressed already, pre printed, pre stamped, you literally just had to mark yes or no and mark the dish that you wanted and stuck it in the mailbox, put the little flag up. Guests weren't doing it. So now there's dial in RSVP, email RSVP, QR code, website RSVP, and it's still a struggle. It's better, but it's still a struggle. And I always say, once you've been through it, you'll never not RSVP again, because couples go through a lot on top of all the other things to have to chase RSVPs and worry about, is this guest coming? Is this guest not coming? Oh my gosh, my final count is due. And do they want chicken or fish? RSVP, y'all. It's, it's super important. So, about who makes the cut. We talked about plus ones and when do plus ones really count, or how you can decide if a plus one is warranted, right, on the invitation, who gets a say in the guest list, how it should be addressed on the invitation, even on the save the date. And things change in the middle, right? Destination weddings, out of town weddings, couples are sending out the save the dates 10 months in advance. And then say, as my daughter calls it, they're in talking phase. They were in talking phase when the save the date went out. Not dating, it's called talking stage. Talking phase, talking stage. Invitation goes out 3 months before the wedding. Now they're locked in. He's moving in. I feel that a conversation, a nice phone call to the couple could be warranted in saying, the save the date was this way, but now we're like this. Is there a way? And if you love this couple and these are your people, you're okay with however the chips fall, however the conversation may be. If they're not able to accommodate, but if they are, that's a bonus. I can tell you that every single person that you invite is not going to come. This is why a plan B list is almost always in the wings for couples. Travel may not be possible, schedule conflict, that kind of thing. On average, about 15% attrition rate. Couples will see their invite list versus who actually makes it. Majority of the time, couples are very happy towards the end to see the RSVPs say no. They're not sad about it. So the B list usually, and I've seen a lot lately, they're like scrapping the B list and they're like, okay, we're just rocking with this. And that's usually because they start thinking about other ways to make the reception special and personalize it, and less guests means a little bit more room in the budget for them to accomplish those things. So that helps a little bit when you get the RSVP no's. And then I think we talked about having that important discussion, definitely first, and about making the cut. Yes, we talked about it all. And we talked about the RSVP, definitely RSVP. Couples that are being invited, now that your turn is up, you will look at it totally different because the shoe's about to be on the other foot. And then you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is what it feels like. I get it. I don't want to be in this. And you'll never like repeat that same thing again. So I hope that's a great overview about who makes the cut. Stick to your guns. I promise, stick to your guns. It's a once in a lifetime day. It's going to go by so quickly. You want to do that panoramic of the room, and it goes by so quickly. Let it be the best representation of the two of you, exactly how you envisioned, whether it be 200 people, whether it be 50 people. I've done both, and It should be just what you want, just what you envisioned, and not about appeasing others. Your parents, your family love you, and at the end of the day, that is what they want for you. So talk it out, hash it out, find a compromise that makes everyone happy, and so that it is a joyous celebration. So, with that said, start with that same chant. Everything's working out for me. Everything's working out for me. Everything's working out for me. Working out for me. Working out for me. And I hope you guys, okay? There's so much outside noise going on at the moment. We kind of have to put like blinders on, keep our head down, and do the work and stay in a place of gratitude and focus on the blessings and the positivity. Otherwise, it might cause a person to crash out, literally. So, as always, thank you so much for allowing me to take up some of your time and giving me a chance to share my experiences, gab a little bit, hopefully put a smile on your face, hopefully crack you up some. But thanks again for joining me on another episode at After the Yes. Now go back to the list and revamp who makes the cut. Bye-bye for now.